Welcome to episode 11, Knights of the Square Tablet. I am joined by the man most likely to be the villain in a Baldur's Gate Dungeons and Dragons campaign, Coach Soder Dave. What's going on, Mr. Coach? Everyone. And then, of course, the paragon of virtue, the hero, Scotty Games.
Hey, what up?
What's going on, guys? We've had such a good month of gaming. I've been waiting for like months to have games to play, and now I have more games than I could possibly like spend time on. It's insane.
It's been a pretty good month.
I completely agree. I've actually had too many games to play all at once, and there's even more coming out in these coming months, and it's just I don't know what I'm going to do.
That's the crazy thing. People have been talking about Starfield, and I'm like, there is no way I'm done with Baldur's Gate in that time. Like something like they got to chill out a little bit. I know I've been begging for games, but it's a lot.
I've been playing Remnant 2. Dark and Darker. The Chivalry update is going to come soon. Then by the end of this month, Armored Core is going to drop. Next month, Payday 3 is going to drop. I really don't know. I'm just straight up going to have to
Mortal Kombat's going to drop as well for me. And then Baldur's Gate I've been playing. And I also played Remnant. And then Dark and Darker a little bit. It's been crazy, man. I feel like there's that huge drought all the way up until June, July, August, and then all these games started dropping. It's been nice, actually.
I haven't even beaten every boss in Remnant. I beat the game, but I want to beat every boss, and I just haven't even been able to find the time to do it.
I didn't even bother with Remnant at all. I knew that one wasn't going to be.
It was fun.
I heard it was great.
It was cool. I beat the campaign, but I didn't feel the need to keep playing. I wish I did because
I didn't keep all the bosses out of your run. So
yeah.
When your first run of the game is I think half of the bosses in the game, and then you have to restart your run to get the rest of the bosses, and so it's there's actually quite a big game there. I didn't even get to play.
It was a good game. For me, I don't know. I didn't feel the need to keep pushing, so I feel like maybe for me the $50 price tag was too high, but if I would have kept going, it would have been fun. But I would have also been redoing areas. I don't know. I felt like it was a good game.
How'd you like that final boss?
It was. I did it with Reap, and it was a fun fight. I thought it was super
you missed
fair.
Out, Strata.
At first,
yeah. Well, I don't know. The last game Dave was selling to me on was Sonic Frontiers or something, and I fucking hated that playing with my son. And Dave loves it, so I don't know. We'll have the same. Dave did that for fun. I did it as torture when I had to, and it was not my game. But no, Remnant looked good, but I know myself enough that I will never put the time into it. So Baldur's Gate was already a big plunge.
Yeah, dude, that's gonna entertain me for the next year to come. I'm gonna do multiple playthroughs.
It's one and done for me. It's one and done. I heard 100 to 200 hours per game. That'll be it. We make it through, and we'll be happy with whatever our choices were.
Yeah.
Is it really 100 hours for a playthrough?
I mean, if you rush the story, you could probably beat it in 60 to 80. If you rush it, it's not a rush game. I don't know. I'm going through every book, every area. I don't know.
That's too much. I'm going through the areas. I'm not reading the book.
Oh, dude, I'm doing everything. I'm reading all the books. I'm, I don't know. I've been a big fan of BG
good.
For forever, but
yeah. All right, so we're gonna get into Baldur's Gate, I think, pretty extensively as we go. But let's start with some Chivalry. Patch 2.9 supposed to be coming. I've been joking around every time someone asks me in comments or chat, when's it gonna come? I've been saying September 6th as a joke.
I always say when the blood moon rises and the eclipse.
We should give them a break.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
For everyone watching, what they said is that the patch may be delayed past August. May, right? So and another thing, I know no one actually cares, right? Which you shouldn't, but they claim that it has nothing to do with the patch itself. It's just that they had some type of internal issue regarding getting the update out on consoles. If people watching don't know, getting an update out on console is actually fairly difficult for your game. It's why a lot of games back in the day, like Team Fortress or Payday, did not update on consoles, and they updated on PC because it was too expensive and too difficult. And so because they can't get the update out on consoles soon enough, obviously they're not going to update the PC version because it's crossplay and they need them to be, symmetrical. So
Yeah, and getting
That's the
updates
problem.
pushed out frequently to multiple platforms is also a huge struggle.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
they have to get it right.
Now, I don't know what happened. They probably aren't going to tell you because it probably was them being
Maybe,
incompetent.
maybe
Yeah, so
they're
someone forgot to submit it for like authorization or whatever.
Yeah.
I think Xbox has to review it or Microsoft, right? Someone
Yeah.
probably forgot to hit submit, and it's just been sitting
Yeah,
there.
so some dude probably made a mistake or something, and so obviously we have to wait a little bit longer.
Gary, the intern, got put on the job, and
What they wanted to state, very clearly that all of the content in the content update is finished and ready to go. So it was just straight up a mistake or an issue. Maybe it wasn't even their fault. We really don't know because they'll never tell us. But that's why it's delayed, and it may not even be delayed. It may actually release by the end of August. We don't know. They just said they don't know, so it's whatever.
I at this point, I mean, that's kind of par for the course. That's like why I joke about it. My expectation was that it didn't come out in August, so I'm not really mad by it. I feel like we've been down this road many times.
the only thing is I'm tired of getting sniped so much, and I want to see about the Archer changes. See if it has an effect. I'm curious. I don't think it'll have a large effect, especially with the heavy crossbow going to be used probably frequently. But like, I don't know. I think it just needs an update. It just needs fixes and needs
I've talked
everything.
about this before, but they're not willing to put balance changes in anything besides major updates. They like refuse. Everything must be on a 3 to 6 month time frame for balance changes, and I don't get it. I don't understand why they can't just like.
To be honest, I think it's mainly to do with the resubmissions to every platform and keeping everything in sync. And with a smaller company, it might be a little bit more difficult, especially one that doesn't have like a perfect relationship with the with like consoles. Because the more you build your relationship, because in my work right now, we have a lot of things that are cross browser and stuff, and we have to constantly sort of communicate in different companies like Xbox and PS4 and stuff probably have different regulations, and they have to deal with that. So that's my guess, but who knows? It could just be their development cycles as well. It could be anything, man. You don't know unless you're in the office. I feel like,
yeah,
right?
a lot of time with companies and stuff, they get into the routine of this is what we do, and no one knows why, but this is just what we do, and that's the way. I mean, I see that at my job all the time. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't matter. This is how we do it. So, but I mean, look, I'm excited for some new content and stuff, but I already kind of have my expectation that the map's going to be, so-so, and I'm not interested in the weapons, so it doesn't matter that much to me. I'm just trying to space out my play sessions so I don't burn out too much, 1 or 2 a week and call it a day from there. But I would love to get at least the battle pass to grind out. Keep me occupied for a few days.
You want to go over what else they said in their tweet or their announcement is that there actually will be another major content update.
Yes.
By the end of the year. So they said before 2024, pretty explicit language. How much can you trust that? Who knows?
I mean, Shiv Mist is coming no matter what. So whether the stuff is ready or not, they will drop an update right before Christmas. I can almost guarantee that. They've never missed the Christmas update.
Well, I had no doubt that Shiv Mist would be back. I just didn't think they would have another content update.
You didn't think they'd have content with it?
Yeah, I didn't think it would be a like they're saying it's going to be another one of their big updates, weapon, TO map,
I hope so. That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, so
and
we'll
I hope
probably
it's a big TO map.
Yeah, the thing is that's what I was going to talk about. They said that it's going to be one of, the biggest. No, not sorry. They didn't use biggest as a language, but they used like best or some other, word like that. They said it's basically going to be a really good map. And so what I'm thinking is maybe the reason why Bridgetown and Montcrux were so short is that they were working alongside on this other map. But if that's the case, is that how things should be going? Should that be at the expense of other maps?
Well, as I said before, like the Call of Duty and stuff, the shooter genre does that thing where they space out the really large epic maps with the shorter close quarter ones. So maybe they're trying to go for that route where they want to give people different variety of content. Not every map needs to be this massive one. It's like how you have the large maps in Call of Duty and then you have Shoot House or was it what was the one Shipment 24/7, which is just like a tiny box. I'm so ADD that you guys can probably figure this. I only play Shipment.
I played Modern Warfare 2019. It's just like I don't know. TO shouldn't be a game mode with 4 objectives.
I agree.
I think them removing TDM is also something to consider here, because having a little bit of having shorter maps instead of just a uber long Lionspire match, uber long Rudhelm match, Dark Forest. Those are much longer maps. Having something in between that's not so it doesn't take 45 minutes a match if it's a good match, right? I think maybe that's where their head's at.
The thing is, that's also not the case either, because each of those 4 objectives has an 8-minute timer. So they want the match to be long. They just don't want it to have a lot of objectives or take place over a large battle. They just want you to be sitting on the same objective for 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, which I don't like that, because to me, when I went back to Mordhau in the last few months to try it out on their free releases and stuff, the thing that made me the most bored about their invasion mode is you got like 12, 14-minute like objective points. It's so freaking boring. Like that variety change every 5 minutes is so necessary. Like I don't want to be I don't want to be defending the same thing for 10 minutes straight. That's crazy.
Well, I completely agree with you, and that's why every single TO map so far, before Bridgetown, was designed for each objective to be playing different from the next. The last, and also, not be too long. So these shorter maps, I guess Bridgetown, you do kind of run through it very quickly, but I think people credit that more to the objectives themselves being poorly balanced rather than the map being designed for a quick run. So I don't know. I'm not really too fond of that style. If it was all at the expense of this new map, if this new map coming after Montcrux is the best thing ever since sliced bread, then maybe I might eat my words, right?
I hope it is. I hope it is. I think that would be best case for everyone here. I don't want to come out from a content update and be crying that I think the map sucks. Like that's not the.
I'm hoping
worst.
that we get like a Belmez. I know you two didn't play Belmez, but it was like a TO map, and at the end there were 2 VIPs, one on Agatha and one on Mason.
That'd be great.
And they fought, and that was dope. So I would like that.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Or a Tenosian VIP objective. I'd like that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really care much if it's in Tenosia or where the map takes place. I just care that the map is good. Like, I'm not too picky with that.
Yeah,
give me a sword and some heads to chop, and I'm gonna be a happy person.
I'm the same. I'm not like sad that there's no Tenosian VIP. It would be cool, but like I don't know. I when it comes to like colors and who I'm playing as, I don't really care as long as the map is good.
I just think back. I can't think of a VIP map that people don't like. So,
yeah, I guess Dark Forest.
Everyone loves Dark Forest.
Yeah, I like Dark Forest.
Lies. You guys, no.
The only time Dark Forest is really bad is when the team stacking epidemic is at its worst. Like when people could freely swap teams.
When there's good,
horrible.
When there's good players, I think it gets very lopsided, and I like defense.
Yeah, it does 100%.
Like I'm just backtracking. I'm just walking back. You can't do anything for like half of the objectives on defense sometimes.
No. Getting ass whooped for the first.
I think it's like fairly, over my course of time playing that map, I think it is fairly balanced. But it's just like when things aren't going right, it's just.
Oh, it's snowballs.
It's snowballs.
It's just a complete run over.
You're right. When people
terrible.
stack Dark Forest, it feels terrible. But Dark Forest, from what I've seen, has just as many defendable objectives than every other TM map.
Have you ever defended the barricade one?
Not objective.
The flaming. Not objective one. I'm talking about the other barricade.
No,
the fire barricade.
That one's really hard too.
Okay, so have you defended that one? You can defend pretty much every other point. Have you defended the gates? Have you defended the gates with the catapults?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I've done that a few times, but
you can defend the catapults.
It's only a few times.
You can defend the carts, and you can also defend the gatehouse.
The gatehouse.
The gatehouse is very defendable.
You can definitely defend that, but
and then you can.
There's two that I've like almost never defended. I've defended maybe.
I don't think the first barricade even counts as a point. Like
I have defended that one though. I have defended that one.
The VIP objective is a very good defendable one.
Yeah, it's very hard to get the Duke.
I feel like a lot of times like matches that shouldn't reach the Duke do a lot of times.
Okay.
And it just
I'm
becomes
saying it's not as much of a role as like Askendir or like Askendir. It's pretty much guaranteed you're getting to the final objective. In my experience.
Yeah, well, the bridge part of
I'll
Askendir,
see
I
people
think is the
lose.
word is really hard to defend. But
I'll
the
see
other
people lose
points
on the columns.
not as hard. Yeah. I think I've defended the first
Maybe.
point a ton, and then the columns I've defended a ton as well. But the book's almost impossible unless you've burned enough time by the time you get there. But there's only like 2 really defendable points on Askendir, but it's still more fun. It's still more fun to me. For some reason, I don't know. Maybe I just have a vendetta against Dark Force.
Everyone has map preferences, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Yeah. I like the map. Aesthetically, it's cool, but I don't know.
No, I agree. Actually, that's not one of my favorite maps because if you look, it's just a giant choke point, which is a lot of like pretty clutter around it. But it's just line, basically.
And the spawns are like all over the place. Like I don't know. I feel like you get spawned on. I don't know. But I don't know. Solder Dave plays 40 man, so maybe he has, or 52 man, or
just learn this: every map is unbalanced if you play it on 64 player. Easily.
I would say Linespire and Rudhelm are perfectly balanced, pretty much on 64 man.
Yeah, they're okay. Not Rudhelm. Not
Rudhelm? Dude, no. I've won at every single point, except for maybe the burning, maybe once. The burning of the tents, I've defended that.
Tents.
But other than that, I've won on every other single point. Even the first objective.
I don't know. I think Rudhelm's the best map that they...
Yeah, I think Linespire is my favorite, but I think Rudhelm is pretty much balanced. I don't know. I don't know how you can say it's not, really. I would like to hear that argument.
It's not the worst map in terms of balancing, but I think it's attack-sided on 64.
Yeah, I mean, what map isn't a little bit, But, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends what lobby you're into.
Gallencourt is defense-sided on 64.
Well, the last stage is really hard now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
The last, I think, 2 or 3 matches I've seen on Gallencourt, I think it ended before the statues.
The ships is pretty defendable, but like I would say
they're all defendable actually.
Yeah, but they're all also pretty attackable. I think like the only time I really lose before the statues is if people aren't bringing barrels and aren't throwing it.
The problem is the engineers on Gallencourt are very powerful.
They are.
Yeah. I like playing Gallencourt though; it's a lot of fun, and I feel like it requires a lot of teamwork, more teamwork than a lot of the other maps.
Remember, I mainly play with sweats. So in the 64 lobbies, you have like 4 or 5 engineers all placing walls like constantly. And it's just basically impenetrable.
Do you play usually in the server browser when you do 64 too? Even when you're just chilling outside of events?
Not just chilling ever.
Oh my God, Dave. Someone
He's always on the grind, bro.
Yeah, I know. One day we got to take Dave to a bar and just make him let loose. Oh man. All right, so moving past Chivalry, we've all been very excited for this game to finally release, and we didn't know if it was going to happen because they were getting sued by the company a former employee worked at. But here we are. Dark and Darker has dropped into early access. If you haven't played it, it's Escape from Tarkov meets Dungeons and Dragons. It is a hell of a lot of fun. But it's still very early in its development cycle, so there are some warts and blemishes that'll come out as early access continues to roll along. But how are you guys enjoying so far? How much did you guys play?
I haven't played too much, to be honest. I think it's... I don't know. The gear-based PvP gets to me a little bit, I think. It's just not my preference. And also, like, constantly looting chests all night and... grinding through the same skeletons again. It's fun, but I prefer it in a group setting just to kind of mess around and have a good D&D like experience and going through dungeons and having fun. I'm a casual when it comes to that game. I can't take it seriously enough to like want to get good at it. But I watch a lot of people like Jay Griffey and I watch a lot of Jonah Vale, those people that take it seriously, and it looks fun if you do take it seriously. But I don't know if it's for me personally. I think it's a great game, but not for my taste. But I love playing with three people, hanging out, having a good time, and
the game shines in that group setting.
Yeah,
when you got everyone on voice having a good time. 100%.
Yeah, it's just tough to hop on by yourself and like want to grind out some gobby caves, and I don't know.
I've done that quite a bit, and I very low effort it. Like,
yeah.
I'll have a movie or something on the other monitor, and I'm like half paying attention to what I'm doing and half not.
Oh no, never second monitor game, dude. No, you can't do that. Never game.
I think it's amazing.
Yeah, solder is all about
I love it.
I could see Dave deep in the fires of hell in that game going crazy.
I find it most enjoyable when fighting bosses. Fighting the bosses in hell is incredibly fun. We just beat the new boss. I think he's called the Skeleton Warlord. Super cool. It was just fun figuring it out, looking at videos, seeing how to beat it. I think it's the most fun I have playing the game, but also killing parties is fun too. I still think I'm kind of a noob when it comes to it, but seeing some other people, I've realized that I've gotten pretty decent. Not decent enough to start rolling high roller and slaying lobbies, but decent enough. And I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's amazing. I've been playing it for multiple hours a day for the last week.
What class have you been playing, Dave?
Cleric and Wizard. Mainly Cleric in my party, Wizard when I'm alone or playing with some other friends, and both are very fun.
Looking at Dave right now, I could see him in the Wizard garb, like. 100%.
Dude, yeah, we need to play sometime with you, Solder. But you flaked on us, bro. What was
I
that?
know. When you guys wanted to play, I couldn't play. I'm sorry.
As I said, I've never seen Dave miss a gaming commitment before. And the night we were supposed to do Dark and Darker.
I really was busy. I'm so sorry.
We should set up maybe another session if you're down.
We should.
Because I would love to play with you, taking it more serious, and then I'll play. You can go on Cleric. I'll play Wizard.
We don't even have to PvP seriously. Just going for the boss and actually giving it a really strong attempt and kill it is so fun, and it feels really rewarding.
The real fun is killing people.
Also that too.
I don't even think it's that fun though, especially if you're geared, because it's like rock paper scissors sometimes, man. And there's so many rogues. There's so many rogues lately that it's just like,
dude, the rogues with double jump,
and there's just like a lot of balance issues. I think. Bard can give Wizard unlimited spells.
They gutted him. They gutted him.
Did they? Yeah, in a recent patch in a few days or something.
It's so funny. They wrote down Bard spell recovery song slightly slowed down. It was slowed down by 70%.
Jesus.
It's like
they don't believe in small measures over there.
No, they're brutal. They're brutal.
Smacked with the Nerf bat.
Yeah, I think
every song he has was nerfed.
I thought the game was gonna it did blast off in popularity, but I thought it would retain a little bit more of the player base. But I feel like, a lot of people might feel the way I do, where it's just kind of like a cool game to hop on with your friends, and then.
I think I have some explanation for that.
I do too.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll say it.
Go on.
A few things. One, they launched with a wet fart. The game, even though it's early access launch, respectfully to them, it is almost identical to the last playtest. They released one character who has less spells than his spell wheel can hold. And it even says work in progress on him. Then they're released with microtransactions. Although it's for cosmetics, nobody likes to see premium currency in a game. It's not attractive. It is a nice way to support them.
And after their statements that they made, we're all about gaming.
We're not like the gaming industry. I expected some Baldurs Gate level of commitment where they put out a tweet that says, fuck microtransactions. We're not doing any of that shit. But no, there's some premium currency there with the redstone. Not a fan. Then they released on a proprietary launcher with seemingly no marketing or anything. on their own website. It also launched with issues to where people couldn't even buy it. There's a ton of reasons
There was
why
double
it
purchases.
didn't... A lot of people... Well, the reason there were double purchases is because a ton of people were bypassing the store that was closed, and it wasn't supposed to allow them to purchase it. They were using glitches with inspect element to get past that. A ton of people really wanted to play it for obvious reasons. They should have prepared a little bit more. It really was a scuffed launch, and although it seems like they're really committed and they've been releasing patches nonstop, literally days after release, like they're really on top of their stuff. They're good devs. They made a lot of those stupid mistakes, and it all kind of piled up and just making the launch less than subpar.
Yeah. One more note on the transactions. I find it terrible that they would have like the classes paywalled, and then on top of that it says like testing out class, so you're like paying for a class
to test
that,
a class that's not finished.
Yeah, you're paying, so you paid for the game to basically beta test their game also, and on top of that you also are paying for a class in the game to also beta test, and it's
I'll commend them that they backtracked on that. They refunded anybody who purchased a class. So classes are now all free, as they should be. I don't know why in the world they would ever think of that.
Especially in early access. I would maybe think of it like maybe after relaunch when everything works, and it's just like...
I guess Nexon rubbed off on them a little bit too hard because, that was... I mean, obviously they
or they need to pay for their legal fees in this legal fight.
Yeah. Well, surprisingly, the U.S. case was taken down. It was dismissed. It could be put back up.
I'm surprised, since now we see the U.S. case was dismissed, I'm surprised they weren't a little bit more patient to wait until they could launch on Steam, because as you said, I never even heard of the gaming launcher that they released on.
It's their own. They made it.
They released on one other one too, and then they made
Chaff.
Yes, there you go.
God.
And I was like, I'm not buying it on there. I'm like, this seems really sus.
I bought it from
I've never
them,
heard of it, so I'm not going to get it from them. I got it from their official launcher. And their official launcher is so busted, I have to uninstall it almost every day and reinstall it to get it to load up the game again. It'll just show me the logo in the middle of my screen, and then nothing happens. Nothing opens up after that. So
in general, I'm happy for them and their success. They've definitely... It was not an unsuccessful launch. The game's too popular for that. But it seems like every thing that kept them down just seems like their own mistakes, that they could have avoided by just being a little bit more patient. But then again, maybe they wanted to capitalize on the large amount of hype.
Also, they're probably running out of money. I don't know. There's a lot of things to factor in there.
I would love to see them be a little more patient for Steam.
And you got to ride the wave. Like, if you don't release soon, especially after...
The momentum will be gone.
The momentum is gone. Like, there's so much to factor in there on their decision. So, mostly, I think everything that you're spot on.
Not even a trailer?
I mean, I'm sure a ton of people, maybe they've just felt like maybe they didn't need one. They had so much hype in the playtest.
Yeah, I mean, like,
and so many people, big streamers playing it.
They already have the biggest streamers on Twitch at least playing it. I don't know about YouTube, but like, damn. I mean, Lyric, Pokelols, who else? I mean, even Asmon played it in the tests. We had some huge players playing it and enjoying it, so they were doing it not paid. So why would they?
Look, every now and then there's a game like Valheim that has no marketing period and just comes and goes crazy. So I guess with that approach, if it's good enough, people will advertise it for you.
I mean, on the other hand, you look at D4, which was crazy marketed and is successful, I guess, to a point because a lot of people bought it, but was it that necessary? Like, people should be enjoying the best advertisements are people enjoying your game.
Yep, make a good game.
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Playing Dark and Darker 2, I past its launching issues. One, I think the development team is really good. They're a small team and they attack issues at a pace that's really unheard of. Like, we were talking about how we wait 6 months for Chivalry changes.
They're definitely motivated.
These guys are almost on a day-to-day basis, and not just always making small changes. They make some pretty significant changes to the games in a quick amount of time.
And their community is also very motivated. Just look at their Discord, general chat spamming.
I'll defend Dogwater Torn Banner here for this. Dark and Darker is able to put out their patches not only because they're better devs, which they are, but also because of the fact that like they only have their game on PC.
Yes.
It's only on their proprietary services, not even on Steam anymore, just on their service, right? That's probably very easy for them to just shoot out a patch. And they also don't really care much for how it affects the player base. They're just like, hey guys, patch going out at 3 p.m. today. You're not playing the game at 3 p.m. and then like everyone's just like, what? And they're like, they don't care. So it's like, yeah, of course they can. You know, they can just do what they need to with no real like stopgaps, no real obstacles. They can just make their game as they want.
Yeah, and even though I think they're so great, I think there are going to be, as the game is now, there are some gameplay issues that will hurt retention of players long term. So when I play Dark and Darker right now, the biggest pitfall to me is how gear centric it is. Right, it's more gear than skill. There's a middle ground where if it's close, you can outskill people. But if you go in as a naked fighter, unless you're playing the worst player in the world or find some cheese method, you're not killing a 95% damage reduction fighter, right? So that gap is going to continue to grow, where now you're having the pre-made just rolling lobbies, and the more people are grinding it like crazy, the more of those people you have. The barrier to entry becomes very, very difficult. There will be wipes, but if they're geared up in 2 days, does it matter?
I guess you're right.
And like, I compare it a lot to Escape from Tarkov, and Escape from Tarkov has equalizers in the game. So you can have the best gear in the game, period, the best stats. You are always a one shot from death's door. So you can go in naked with a bolt-action rifle and a dream, and you can kill someone with the best armor in the game. I feel like it doesn't really have those kind of equalizers in Dark and Darker to where you could get those outplays and get past the numbers. So I feel like people are going to, as they play more, be like, okay, I'm behind. I'm just getting rolled, and I have no chance of killing this person, taking his stuff, and snowballing myself. So why am I going to keep playing when these dudes are going 12 hours a day, Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's a big pitfall of the game right now.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but I am a little skeptical because I'm not an MLG pro on the high roller leaderboards, right? So if I say, like, yeah, I agree with you, I don't want someone coming at me like, oh, actually, like, I'm like an MLG pro, and I had no gear, and I killed this ruby silver clad fighter, easy claps.
I'm sure it has happened.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sure it has happened.
Right, so I'm sure it has happened.
But that person was probably terrible and bought the armor.
My experience is what you're saying, right? Gear is a very heavy thing when it comes to who's going to win the fight. And that's my experience. If I were to make a game like this, I would make it more like Hunt Showdown, where the top level of gear and the bottom level of gear is not that big of a jump. Like in Hunt Showdown, the getting all of your perks and the guns that you want can happen in, I would say, like maximum 5 games it takes you, right, to get your, even if you want the best stuff ever, you want the Avtomat, you want the sticky bombs, you want every perk that you want, 5 games. In this game though, it's like the top level gear is like what, 80 games for you to get your 95% damage reduction fighter, or even to get a unique item that does some crazy thing like lightning bolts when you hit them with your longsword. Or I saw recently a horseman's axe that makes it to where the person you hit can't heal. Imagine how OP that is.
No.
It's like, how long do I have to play to realistically get to that level? Probably a decent chunk, especially if I'm not the top right side of the bell curve, right? Imagine if I'm just an average player, I'm going to lose a lot along the way. So in general, I agree with you. That's just what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, and I think they could solve it just by lowering, as you said, the gap between the highest end, the power, and the lowest end. So it at least feels like there's a little bit more attainable wins. Like if you're running with low gear and a longsword and you hit a few parries and riposts on someone geared the hell up and outplay them significantly, you can kill them. Not you've outplayed them and parried them 3 or 4 times, they've only hit you once and you die, but you've hit them 17 times and they're still at 80% health. That's just, I feel like, at the ridiculous level of...
I think that their normal lobbies and high roller lobbies are the answer to that. That's what probably their answer. But I
yeah,
don't know.
I think right now though there's no incentive to go in the high roller lobbies. Like just at their core,
Well, you
they're
get way
flawed.
better. You get way better gear in the high
Not
rollers, though.
not that much. You might get better,
I
but you
mean, from
also
chat,
have
you get like, well, maybe I don't know. I've been watching some people run high rollers, and it seems like almost every other chest there's like a blue with +3 weapon damage or something in it. You know, like there.
You
I
get
think it's definitely way better than running regulars, but you do have to pay to get into them, right?
They also
Still,
lowered the price that it costs to get in.
yeah.
oh, how much is it now?
50.
50? Oh, it used to be 100, right? So,
Yes.
oh, that's crazy. It's only 50.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, the high roller you pay to get in, but the circles close a lot faster and stuff, so you have less time in the raid. If you get distracted fighting a team, you're behind the circle, racing for your life to the people who know what they're doing already, gatekeeping the portal so that you can't get them. So
Yeah,
I feel
I
like
think that circles, they're
it
good,
should to me be the same
but-
time. I don't see why it's different, but
I think that the way portals work should change just a little bit. That if a single party is left, they should get a guaranteed
I agree.
like success. It feels so unfulfilling that after I'm in hell and my party kills the boss and we do everything right, we cleared like 3 rooms, we went to the boss, we killed it, and we're still having to worry about whether we're getting out or not. Why? We were awesome.
I feel like, well, they
Like,
used to have like a guaranteed 3 portals at the end, but I think they might be doing that to disincentivize people from just running through the lobby looking for other people and slaying them. And maybe, I don't know, it might be. I think they used to almost do that, but now it's different.
Yeah, in the past play tests, blue portals could spawn in groups of 3. Now they don't. Blue portals never spawn in groups of 3, but I think they should in hell, because
You mean
hell,
in the third level? The
yes.
okay, that might make sense. But
in hell, you could do everything right and still lose because the portal spawning is so scuffed. And I just think that if you're the last party alive and you do well, you should get a guaranteed exit for all of your teammates, because it feels so unfulfilling to die to zone and not even mobs or players. Just you couldn't get lucky enough to find a portal.
no,
That's
that's
annoying.
happened to me a lot in the Goblin Caves where I'm the last survivor and I'm just standing there as everything closes around.
in
me,
the
nowhere
Goblin
to go.
Caves, I've noticed that the
Oh, yeah,
portals will
especially-
spawn above
And
you.
high.
And, yeah,
if you're
that
shit
sucks.
locked in the basement and it's hard to get out or the circles
Yeah.
are closed, you're just out of luck. It's almost never gets to the bottom level if you're in those rooms with the bosses.
Yeah.
Which that's kind of demoralizing. I got a backpack full of freaking loot. I'm the last one left, and I'm going down.
Also,
to
there's
zone.
sometimes we decide to not fight the boss and just loot hell, and maybe somebody died, and then all of the escape portals respawn in the boss room. It's like come on.
Yeah,
It's-
that's
Yeah.
that crazy RNG, right?
Yeah, I think that system just sucks. I understand it for when people are alive, right? Because they have to fight over the portals. That makes sense. But when we're the last party left, I just want to win. We won. We killed
Yeah,
everyone.
I agree. You should get some reward for being the last people surviving in the dungeon. You should just get on.
Yeah, of course.
I don't see any problem about that. I mean, with the amount of people you see dying every raid, I don't think it's a big deal to give a few people an out for being the winners. Like reward could be reward the wins, because people, especially casuals, if they're playing for 2 hours a night and they get that one raid where they finally got some fat loot and then they die to the zone, they're not going to stay around.
Yeah, but in general, I think I agree with you. If I would make the game, I would remove High Roller as a thing, and then just make the top brass of loot and the bottom brass of loot closer to each other, to where they didn't matter as much. But that will never happen, because the loot is a big reason why people play Dark and Darker, and the players themselves like the current system, so it's not going to change. I don't really have too much of a problem with that, because I love the game. It's super fun, and I enjoy it a lot, so I'm not really going to stress too much.
I think the game is great. I worry about its longevity, but the developers also have been pretty good about things, so I'm sure once they start adding in skill trees and some of their changes after they look at data, I think the game will be significantly different. I would love for a more skill-based combat system to be in, then it would be the game of my dreams, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen.
Of course. let us sweats,
Yeah,
destroy some
I
I
have
want
a
to turn.
very
I want to turn around, parry a rogue after he initiated,
yes.
and just one shot him in the head. You know, I want to.
That's funny. Yeah, despite having such a bare bones combat, there's no turn cap, so you can just
Yeah,
you just go
yeah,
willy
yeah.
nilly.
I blind fired a rogue one shot with a longsword the other day. He came with the fuck you in the back, and I just swung and turned and just clipped him, and then he dropped. I'm like, fuck you.
But in general, congratulations to Dark and Darker. Very good game. Very good launch. Well, very okay launch, and it's probably going to succeed in the future.
Yeah. I think it already has succeeded in many ways, and I think how much it succeeds will be yet to seen, but I think they're going to have a core player base who's going to stick with the game for a while. I don't know if it'll reach the numbers that it did in some of those playtests, but I think it's already a success in a lot of ways, and it's something different. And speaking of massive successes, we have, in my opinion, Game of the Year, and it's got a lot of competition, but Baldur's Gate 3, I know Dave hasn't quite picked it up yet. Scotty has lived in Baldur's Gate for the last week or so.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of Shiv too. I usually start my streams with Baldur's Gate, and then I switch over when I'm at a pivotal point. But I don't know. For me personally, I think it's Game of the Year. I was actually blown away by it because I've been a Baldur's Gate fan, and I thought the introduction to the Divinity developers may muck with it a little bit. But honestly, like, I think it's one of the best games I've played in a long time. Not only that, it's a fully polished, functioning game with almost no bugs. I came across one almost game ending bug, but I went to an autosave to prevent it. That's the only thing I've seen in the game. And then there's performance issues when you are doing cloud load saves. But other than that, like, the game is beautiful. The depth of it is astonishing with all the choices that you can make, and if you really can't rush it, man. I've been looking at some other people play it, and they'll just be like rushing things, and I'm like, no, that's not the way to play it. It's all about moral decisions, and I think it's, I don't know. I think it's brilliant, and they did. It's the first time I felt like a sequel with a different studio in charge has really done a game justice, and I don't know. I have nothing but praise for it, besides a few things that are minor. But
such a great game. I don't think I've liked a single player RPG as much since Dragon Age Origins. If you guys played that,
I haven't played that one, but people keep bringing it up. But
the story, the voice acting, it's just so great. And I usually don't like turn-based games, so for me to be sold and all,
I think they nailed the combat,
it's
man.
So
there's
good.
There's so much wrong with Divinity, or not a lot wrong, but the Divinity series combat seemed to take too long sometimes.
I didn't like Divinity, and I think the combat's what did me in. I think I made it maybe 3 hours in the game. I was like, fuck this.
Yeah, I played through pretty much all of the first one, but the second one I kind of gave up, and it just didn't grab me. But I don't know. Baldur's Gate, for some reason, got me by the balls, and I love the shit out of the game, and the way that they're introducing the old characters and blending, the lore from the old games into books that you find on shelves, and how, like, knowledge from the books that you find can help you in certain circumstances, and and not scum saving. Don't scum save out there, boys. Don't scum save, okay? Let things happen. You'll have more fun.
Scum saving.
It's when you, like, reload because you didn't make a roll.
Oh, okay. I got you. I've been mostly lucky with that. So, but God, they did such a great job. It's really amazing, and I'm having so much fun with the game. I spent 2 hours, a full gaming session for me, the other night playing Baldur's Gate, and I never made it out of the town. That's how much there is to do there. The amount of detail they put into every conversation, every interaction, every quest.
And it all matters, too. It all matters because, if an NPC dies and then you don't get future quest lines, if you don't, everything intertwines so beautifully that I haven't seen in a game before. So
yeah, and usually you play a game, they give you side quests, something like an Ubisoft game, an Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They give you these hard side quests that you have to grind, and you don't feel that in this game at all. Every interaction is amazing.
Yeah, and even the side quests will turn into, like, finding the Underdark and stuff, and going through there. It's like, you can get to the Underdark from like 8 different areas, but like you can get there doing totally different things, and like it all intertwines very well, man. I don't know, and the combat is great. The combat's fun, man. I don't know.
Scotty, the attention to detail they put into things is just insane. They have every single possible outcome or way you could do something thought out of, and it would be so easy to miss some of these stuff. I saw a video on YouTube of this little Nomi girl is threatening to blow the people up with a firebomb, but the guy had already snuck in before the cutscene went off with his rogue and stole the pot, and she actually answered correctly. Like, she tried to do it, and it didn't work, and it's something that you would have thought would have been like game-breaking cheese, and it was already in there.
Yeah,
it's like
it feels like playing real tabletop D&D at times. And then like I've heard of people like poisoning people's drinks in the game.
Oh my god!
Like you can poison people's drinks if they're like at a table drinking. If you're sneaking with a rogue and stuff, you can.
I guess I know what I'm doing next play session.
You can. I don't know. There's just like you feel like you have ultimate freedom in the game, and like, I don't know. It's insane, and I feel like they deserve everything that they're all the praise. And just looking at the Steam numbers and stuff, people are playing the game and they're staying in it, and it's actually been growing after the first week of launch, which is cool.
I haven't played it because I know it's not what I would like to play.
Yeah.
But I see people enjoying it. I see it doesn't have microtransactions. I see, from what I read, the devs are genuine and that they made a good game. And so I'm happy.
Well,
yeah,
it was regardless of if it's a game for you, it's a huge win for the gamers because a development studio came in and they said, we're not going to worry about milking our consumers for extra money. We're just going to make a really great game. We're going to price it very fairly at $59.99.
And it's going to be finished. The cool thing about it is that it's...
Yes, exactly. They're like, a lot of these devs don't understand. I am willing to pay more if you release a good game finished without bullcrap, done and polished here.
Exactly.
I played Remnant 2. That was $50. I was very happy with the product. I bought it. I played it. I'm done. Very good game. I didn't have to worry about anything. And then Baldur's Gate, it seems like everyone is enjoying it. They don't have to patch anything major that's stopping people from having fun. It's not an early access. They just dropped the game and it's here. And so I'm really pleased with that. And all I can say is I'm happy that they won.
Well, I think it goes back to just showing other game developers that the philosophy of making a great product is going to do way better for your pockets than trying to make every system in the game about how can we sell the consumer extra stuff. Like, you get 200 hours of gameplay, between 100 and 200 hours of gameplay for a general playthrough of the game for $59.99. And there's also apparently thousands of different endings. You could play this game for the next 5 years straight and not see everything in the game. The value for your money is insane. And compare that to something like EA Sports Madden, which... Shame on me. I bought Madden 24. I've been going every other year. Shame on me. I know. I couldn't resist.
I'm just kidding.
I didn't play last year.
But really.
Before I even got into my first game today, a thing popped up right in the middle of the screen asking me to buy packs. Before I even played one game.
Yeah, dude, it's awful. It's a parasite that needs to be removed. That's encased in the skull of the devs by magic.
I'm not optimistic, but I hope there are more developers who look at this and like, you know what, maybe we should spend an extra year developing that game rather than releasing it on a time frame.
Some of these games are trying to become live service games when they don't need to.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. They're all trying to be...
I mean, have you guys heard of Dying Light 2? That game dropped.
I've heard of it. I never played it, yeah.
Okay, did you know that they're adding a premium currency to the game for cosmetics? That's a single-player game that came out like a year ago. Jesus. What do they think they're going to get from adding that? Like,
you'd be surprised. I feel like people will still.
Okay.
They're throwing it out there. It's a fishing line, right?
Yeah, single-player game, first person, by the way, not third person, and they're going to sell you cosmetics. It's like, how delusional do you have to be? And so, and now Diablo 4. That's a game that did not need to be live service. There should not be battle passes for Diablo 4. It's a game that you should launch and play.
If you're familiar with, they're trying to follow in the track of Path of Exile and doing the worst possible job of it. Path of Exile has supporter packs that you can buy. It has cosmetics. And
but you never paid for Path of Exile. It's free.
It is free. Yeah, I've spent $90 on Path of Exile because somebody donated me that to go buy some stash tabs. If you're gonna play Path of Exile seriously, you have to drop at least $20-$25 for stash tabs. Now, they do have supporter packs that are honestly more expensive than Diablo. The thing with Diablo is that they have no content. That's the biggest thing, is that there's no end game content. Their seasons suck. Everything it just
the
sucks.
idea of launching a game and then filling it out later is the problem. That is, and because they want to make you feel like you're getting a bargain, like you're getting a product that is going to be continuously worked on out of the generosity of the developers' hearts for years to come. That's not the case. They release a half-baked, unfinished product, Shift 2, and then fill it out with features and maps and content later on that wasn't originally there. And that's just a terrible way of doing things. Like you said, Baldur's Gate, it launched and it's done, and they already moved on to the next project.
Could you imagine if they released Baldur's Gate chapter by chapter, like 6 months down the road, you're going to get chapter 2, and then another 6 months you get chapter 3? Like, how terrible would that be?
Yeah. I think it is different though with that type of ARPG.
Actually, Telltale did that, and it was very cool.
Like,
Telltale.
I mean, Path of Exile is 10 years old.
I love the
every
Telltale
season,
Game of Thrones.
Every season in Path of Exile, they add a new mechanic, but oftentimes those mechanics are cool, and then they will add them to the base game. So the game has been worked on over years. So I don't think, like, I think it depends on what you're doing, right? And it's something like Baldur's Gate, you can't release slowly because you can't play an RPG and then stop and then play again, right? Like, games like Diablo and Path of Exile are meant to be played in a sprint. You take a break and then you sprint again, right? So it's a different way of thinking. But I agree, like, nothing about D4, especially with the manpower and money that they have, felt finished and complete at all.
Yeah.
So
no, yeah,
I don't think there's a lot of excuses.
You can't convince me D4 would be worse if it was all done.
Yeah. I just wanted to make it clear for, like, also people that don't really play that style of ARPG, because, like, it is a very, like, it's something that is over time built, but also, like, D4 just had no base game and they charged $90.
I think a lot of why companies do that is because when you release an update or a battle pass, it brings people back to the game. So it's like every 3 months you get to infuse your player base.
Exactly. They want you to play it forever and never stop. And
yeah.
As something like Baldur's Gate, they want you to play it, enjoy it. And we have a ton of possibilities. If you want to play it again, you can go in with a new character. The live service,
like, play this game forever and never stop, can work. It just has to be good.
Yeah. I've never seen it be good enough for me, though. Yeah. So
if you look at CSGO keeps all of its players, and everybody loves it with no issues. And now they're going to release CS2, and that's probably going to be the most played shooter of all time when it drops. And it didn't even add a new gun. So that's pretty insane that they can get that level of hype for a game that is adding nothing.
Yeah, 100%.
These other games can do the same, except they're just like dog water at it. They're like, buy our battle passes, do this, do that, bless you. And it's like, that is not going to get anyone hyped. Your battle pass is not exciting anybody. It's nothing. You are nothing.
I think a lot of times in big, like, companies, they use these tick words. So right now it's live service and it's open world game, and it's shoved into almost every genre and every possible game, because it's the thing right now. And some games don't need to have live service, and they don't need to be open world either. I'm so sick of open world games. I want to be in some of these games. I want to be on rails. Take me through the story and get me out. I don't need to ride a horse for 15
Remnant.
Minutes to my next destination.
That's why I like Remnant.
Get me out of here.
Elden Ring, but I didn't like want any more open world games after Elden Ring, because I was already kind of, like, mentally exhausted from having to figure out the game. I kind of, like, maybe call me smooth brain, I don't care. I wanted my handheld for the next game I played. And
Look, If I'm playing a single player game, I'm not playing it to be challenged to the max. I play multiplayer to beat people, not AI. So yeah,
I love the challenge. I just don't like challenge like, oh, you didn't find that, so you don't have it. I don't like that challenge. I like the challenge of put me in a hard boss and then watch me fail a million times until I beat it. I don't want to have to like find the boss. That's just brain dead.
I like the open world stuff, but I hate when companies insert it.
Always Scotty.
I hate when companies insert it into games when it's so obviously just something to put in their marketing department, like D4. Having a world, a meta world that just doesn't feel good.
Exactly.
But when
you're right.
I mean, like Elden Ring,
dude,
you can't tell me that Elden Ring's open world exploration wasn't one of the best.
It was great.
Explorations that you've ever seen.
It was great.
You see a thing, but like it rewards you like greatly. The worst is when it doesn't reward you greatly, right? Like if it's just like a chest. But like in Elden Ring, you find a little hole, and then all of a sudden you're in an underground thing, just like Baldur's Gate.
Trust
right?
me,
It's like,
I'm not saying it's bad. It's not an objective flaw with Elden Ring. I'm just saying I wanted my next game to like hold my hand because I didn't want to have to think about that
cool.
stuff.
I think that's cool.
I wanted all the boss fights and stuff to be like. Like there. I didn't want to have to find the boss fights in Remnant 2.
I like that process of discovery.
I always say I'm playing
for
single player because I'm too tired or drained to do a multiplayer game, and I want to kind of like chill and take it easy. So to me, like having to run around for a half hour to find something, I'm going to burn out of that quick. So like, give me a quest marker. And some quick travel.
I loved that aspect of Elden Ring. I really did. I loved finding stuff like the Halleck tree. Were super dope. And overall, you can't even beat the game unless you're figuring stuff out, to be honest. So it was not unfun. I'm just saying that.
No, I totally get where you guys are coming from, but I just wanted to make it clear.
Don't insert it into stuff that it doesn't belong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know, a big thing for me, D4, it should have followed more the recipe of ARPGs, especially ARPG. It's like, I shouldn't be going to these no-name quest givers. Everything should be meaningful in the story, and then it should have an amazing end game. And it's just, I don't know.
I don't know what it was with D4. I was like, the game looked so nice, and I was like, it was pretty fun to play. And I still haven't finished the storyline. I think I tapped out at like level 45. I've actually uninstalled it now to make room because there's so many other games out that I want to play that are taking a hard drive space. I don't know. The game didn't resonate with me long term. I don't know why, but just I obviously was missing something.
Corporate.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I was having an okay time, and then I started hitting the 40s and really feeling the grind, and that was it. I haven't played since.
You want to go over chat?
Yes. I actually just typed in my Twitch that we're gonna. If anyone's got any questions on games, Chivalry, mustache styles, we'll be, more than happy to answer them. We got a few minutes here before we head our separate ways.
Check out Remnant when you can, Strata. You won't regret it.
I know it's probably great. I just don't think it's like there's
I don't know.
time limit on how much I can finish.
If you're on the fence about it already, I would save your $50, Strata.
Yeah.
Damn.
Look,
I would, because I know that Strata would play the story, but then be like me, where I just didn't feel like pushing endgame. It was a good game, but like
I feel like I wouldn't even get through the story if it like. I'm actually sad about this. I never finished Hogwarts Legacy. I was like, the game is so good.
I never played it.
I hit this every single player game I play. I hit like the 20 to 30 hour wall where I just stop and I was like, okay, I'll play tomorrow, and then tomorrow never comes. And
I know exactly what you mean.
And now in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I log back in, I'm gonna have to figure out how to play again because I forgot all the controls and everything. So then I don't log in. Yeah,
I beat Remnant in like 20 hours, and I wasn't even trying to rush it. So it's not that big of a game, at least if you only just want to beat it and you don't care about anything else.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's we're going to get through
Try to don't throw your $50 away.
Yeah,
I don't think it's for you.
We got to get through Baldur's Gate.
I think it's a good game though, Sauter. I think it's good.
We got to get through Baldur's Gate first. I might get sold on Starfield if I'm anywhere close to done with Baldur's Gate, but I don't know.
Armored Core.
I saw that. I looked it up after you mentioned it, and it looks like mechs or something.
Yeah, it's made by the guys who made Elden Ring. It's probably going to be goated. I don't know if it will be.
But
I mean, I hope.
Look, we can usually say game studios that make good games usually make really good games. I feel like regardless of the there's usually some rollover there. They know what it takes. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's not.
I'm
good
sure it'll be amazing.
Them, yeah.
What's interesting to me, the game doesn't actually look that nice graphically. So I hope that it's amazing in every other aspect because it just didn't look that great.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into the mech kind of thing. I don't know if I'm going to play it. I might look at it and see. I'm going to wait on that one. But I have Mortal Kombat coming around the corner.
I would wait too. I don't even know anything about it. All I know is that it's made by the Elden Ring guys and that it's goated. That's it. That's all I know.
Armored Core had a live stream today. Did anybody catch that? I guess.
I never even heard about the game until Dave mentioned it to me. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They put out a trailer and that's it. They haven't said much.
Yeah, they haven't really put out much content.
But it comes out this month.
I grew up on like the Mech Warrior games, so I feel like that was a much different time in gaming. I don't know if they would pass the test of time. It was like very clunky, big moving robots that kind of slow, and it takes a while to turn around to shoot at stuff. I don't know if I could see those games being good today, but I might check it out. It's at least in the interest level. Reefits is saying if only D4 had its own Lae'zel for you to bump bellies with. Hell yeah. Lae'zel is a bad woman, man. I like her.
yeah. I definitely did the dirty with her with my halfling.
Dude, I don't understand it. I was looking at like Reddit and stats. Everyone's into the Shadow woman. I forgot her name.
Shadowheart?
Shadowheart. She's a little vanilla to me.
She's
I like a bad
cute,
assertive woman. Like I'm on to Lae'zel, my good girlfriend.
I praise Salune, and she is a Shar, so we're never gonna work out. So I'm gonna have to find another woman.
I know nothing of like that stuff with the game. I had no idea what she was saying. When
Dude,
she's
you gotta get into it,
Shar,
man. It's the only way to enjoy it.
I'm like, the other woman's very assertive. I'm like, that's mine. That's She's into killing people and messing out.
What are you all on about? I don't know anything about this.
Dave.
You can do the dirty with characters.
Yeah, no, I heard that. I heard that.
Dave would be like handcuffed down from her. Like
Dave would definitely miss the intimidation check during that scene, dude, for sure.
100%.
He would roll a one on
Dave wouldn't even roll the dice. He'd just go right to his back.
Yeah.
Do what you want, goddess.
I'm just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, boys.
Yeah, I'm not getting many questions. So,
okay. Are we going to talk ad mortem, dude? I really want to talk ad mortem in
next episode.
Is that going to be in 2 weeks, boys, or are we going to do what? Well, it depends on the update, right? It depends.
It depends on the update. I think what our plan will be if the update drops, we'll do a cast on that one, whatever Friday is after that, and if the update doesn't drop, then we'll work on some we'll talk about some other medieval slashers, guys, that are in the pipeline. So I don't know if Scotty or Dave wants to tease them quickly. You guys probably know a little bit more than me.
Mobius, Contingent, Ad Mortem, Sinus.
And then Blight, but I don't know if that
not Blight.
Not Blight.
Yo, Blight looks sick. What are you talking about, Dave?
It does look sick. It's just not a slasher.
Yeah, no, it's not a slasher. Yeah, you're right on that.
People are interested in it though, but I don't know if they have much content out to discuss even. So
they don't. They just have a trailer. In fact, I asked all the mods that work on that Discord. They don't even know if the game's real. It's funny.
Okay. Oh shit. Well,
they keep their secrets close to the vest. All right, guys. Well, love to all. I think we're all gonna head our separate ways. I'm gonna AFK here real quick, and then I don't know. I'm probably hopping some Shiv, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing some Shiv.
I'm going to play a Shiv match.
Of course, Dave.
You already know.
Good luck, Dave. We're putting our money on you.